Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy to have you. If you don't recognize my face, my name is Jason Connell, and I work on the marketing team at Mydoma, the premier platform for interior designers to kind of help manage their day-to-day in their business and kind of gets them back to the things that they enjoy doing and not the not so fun things like accounting and admin work and all that stuff that you didn't really think about when you started the business. But today, we have an amazing session. And like I said, kind of just at the top end, something that I think is needed more than ever. And really, we're really excited to have Eileen Hahn here today to put on this presentation of kind of finding the joy and the passion in your business. If you don't know Eileen, I'm going to pull up the bio so I don't make a mistake. But Eileen is the author of The Job You're Born For: 7 Steps to Align Your Work with Your Life Mission. She's an expert at hiring exceptional people, leading with love to nurture and retain staff, helping people land the job they were born to do that brings them joy. Her work with Fortune 500 companies and interior design firms has improved productivity, profitability, and employee work passion. It has also brought the principles and employees joy, peace, and purpose. And of course, this is the best part. This is what I love. Her mission is for all people to live and work in joy. Thank you so much, Eileen, for coming today. And I think people are really excited for an amazing session. So I'm going to hand it over to Eileen and I'll come back for the Q&A. Just a reminder, if you have any sort of questions for Eileen, to put them in the Q&A box. Sometimes with chat, they can get kind of lost. So be sure to put them in there and we will address them at the end of the session. Eileen, this is your moment to shine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. I mean, I am delighted at the opportunity to talk about joy and also to really kind of connect with all of you and talk about the opportunity to, like, how can we live in joy every day? How can we have joy in the work that we do in our jobs? How can we have joy in our businesses? And there's so much opportunity for that. And there's also some challenges with that, right? With life in the world and things that get in the way. So today I'm going to talk about 3 things. The first one is, how are you able to show up every day, being yourself, utilizing your natural talents and skills, enjoying what you do, and feeling a sense of purpose and meaning? How is that possible? How can we do that? And there's actually some keys, some real specifics to how to do that, right? And I'll talk about that. The second is, there are challenges and struggles today, particularly with the world, with the business situation, and that designers are facing, particularly because of the influx of business, right? And some of the demands. So we'll talk about that as well. And what do you do with that? So maybe you have this joyful job, but the surrounding circumstances and business operations are really challenging for you. And you're feeling like that stress is kind of overwhelming you or causing overwork or other things. So we'll address that second. And the third is, we're going to talk about how to just live in joy every day, to how to really kind of to capture and tap into the joy that's available to you in every moment, so that you can live life in a way that is just fun and magical and purposeful and delightful in every moment. Like, is that possible? So the answer is yes. And we're going to talk about how to do that and what that looks like. And so I'm going to encourage you to, if you have some paper and pen, we'll be asking you some questions, to do some exercises, and also to just give yourself this hour to really kind of tune in and relax and work through the exercises to tap into that joy within yourself. And that's also available in your work and in your job. So let's start right away with the job or the work that you're doing. And so the first key element to actually working in joy is to do some type of activity or work that you're particularly good at, that you're particularly energized and excited to do, and that you enjoy. So I want you to take a moment and just jot down, what things do you enjoy doing at work? It's fun for you, it's energizing for you, and you're good at it. And people that see you say, wow, what a beautiful job, what a great job, you do excellent work. So take a moment, because there's 3 pieces we want to connect with to have that optimal job or business that really works in joy. So what is it that you do? The second thing is, you're doing something that's fun. You're doing something that's energizing, that you enjoy, that you're good at. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is, what about the environment? What type of environment do you feel most comfortable and alive in? And it could be something like, for you, you like a kind of a calm, environment. You like an environment where you can kind of take your time and you can focus and practice, and you like certain aspects, how the surroundings of that environment are, that enliven you and make you feel good. It's interesting. One of my friends is an operating room nurse, and she says she walks into a hospital and the environment of that hospital just makes her feel welcome and warm and relaxed. For me, that's not my environment, right? And as you know, there's different types of design work in businesses. So what's the environment that you enjoy working in? Environment could also be something like you like a fast-paced, energetic, talkative, people-oriented, connection, collaboration type of environment. Or you could prefer to work a little more solitary and have some peace and focus within your own work. So I want you to write down second, things about the type of environment that you enjoy. An environment is also part of what you can create, right? So as a principal or owner of a firm, you can create an environment or culture, we like to call it in business, right? Where the environment kind of fits and suits your being and your essence, so that when you show up, you're feeling that energy and aliveness in the culture. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. I've had the opportunity to work with over 4 dozen different design firms all over the world, right? And each one of them are different. They're structured different. They have different principles, different things that they're exceptional or good at, different ways they like to operate. So I have one firm working actually in the San Francisco area, and the way they like to work is in a very kind of calm, peaceful approach to design, a very kind of elegant, high quality, exceptional, long lasting, do everything right and well and beautiful. And one of the principal, when she talks about her business and her culture, she talks about how that, she said interior design, it's not an emergency, right? It's not life or death. And so she had worked in business for, over 10 years in high tech and different environments. And she said, we don't have that kind of stress and emergencies and things that have to get done tomorrow. We want to take our time and do a high quality job and beautiful work that's exceptional and unique. And so when I work with my clients and when I hire my employees, I tell them that we're about that. We're about wanting to last and be beautiful and high quality and taking our time and care to do that for them. And so her office environment is calm and peaceful, and her team is beautiful because she likes she hires lovely people that enjoy that sense of calm and peace and focus on the different elements. It's kind of a quiet office actually, right? But they all enjoy that quiet. And then I have another client that has a very energetic, high energy, fast moving, fast paced firm. And she likes to hire people that are energized and excited to work in that environment. And her attitude is like, we're always on the go. There's always things to do. There's always something else we can deliver for our client. Anything they want and need, we want to help them now in the moment. We want to find extra ways, right, to go the extra mile for them. We're all about helping each other and collaborating and helping the client and collaborating in a very high energy, high impact fashion. And so that again, the principals or the owners of the business are creating this beautiful culture that's aligned with their being, right? And then they're attracting and hiring people to join them in that culture, to do what they love and enjoy, right? So now you're kind of picturing this, right? So I'm doing what I love and enjoy. I'm in an environment where it enlivens me. I'm someone that likes fast-paced environment, and I like the energy and collaboration of people, but other people like the calm and the serene, right? And the space and the taking their time and care. And there's certain tasks that require that, right? And so that's important. So you have what do you do that you particularly enjoy and you're particularly good at and people notice, and that's fun to do. You have an environment that enlivens you. If you could take one designer and put them in a different firm and they won't do well. They won't be happy. You may know this. You may have been in different jobs or situations where you could do the job, but it's just not fun there. It's not comfortable there. It's not you there, right? So culture and environment is very important. And the third element has to do with the connection to meaning and purpose. It's feeling an inner sense of joy with what you're doing. And each of us kind of came to this planet Earth, right, with this opportunity to live and to be creative and to have fun and to contribute in some way. And we hold that in our hearts, that desire for meaning and purpose and contribution and whatever that is. And so whatever you're doing, you want to feel that connection to it, because when you feel it, wow, amazing things happen. And when you feel that connection, that's when you open up every day, your eyes in the morning, and you say, wow, I am so happy to get up. I can't wait to go to work. I can't wait to do these tasks or jobs and contribute, or I do things I love to do in an environment with people and situations that are just joyful to me. And it's meaningful and purposeful. I mean, I feel good about what I do. People appreciate that. And I'm going to tell you a story. I was up driving to a new town I've never been to before, up in Northern California, and I was meeting with a colleague. And I stopped in before the meeting to a flower shop. And I love little boutique flower shops in the middle of nowhere, right? So I stop there and I go in, and I decide that I want to buy a big, beautiful bouquet of flowers and give it to this colleague. And I want to do this because this person is extra special. This person is helping hundreds of people around the globe with what she does every day. And she is miraculous. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, gone to a lot of places, but this woman is over the top amazing, filled with love and joy, and just the impact she makes is tremendous. So I go into this flower shop and I'm like, okay, I want a bouquet that expresses that, right? And the person in the flower shop is like, okay, what did you have in mind? And as I look around the flower shop, and I'm not someone that naturally is good at arranging flowers, right? And so I'm looking around, and I said, well, and I grab a vase. I said, it needs to be in a big vase like this. It's a really nice size, something big, something special. And then she said, I look around, I said, well, when I think of her, I think of purple and white. And I think of unique and special and all these qualities. And so can you put something together for me? I'll be back in 2 hours or whatever it was, a couple hours. And that really reflects someone that's extra special, extraordinary, unique, beautiful, glowing, loving. And she said, okay. So I went away, I came back a couple hours later, and I walked in and I went, wow, this is amazing. This is extraordinary. This is exceptional. Wow, this is outstanding. And the woman who I had met that made the arrangement had this big smile on her face. And it was like, and just was glowing. And I was just raving on and on. I'm like, this is magnificent. And another person walked in. I'm like, look at this arrangement. It's incredible. It says everything I wanted it to say and more. And you in design, you know what this is like. You know when people walk into their home or to wherever it is that you just designed and created, and they're like, wow, I love this. It touches your heart. It touches their heart. That's where you feel the meaning and purpose. And this woman at the flower shop, she said, that's why I do this, to create the joy. And I just said to her, wow, you just did that in so many ways. I'm filled with joy just seeing what you created. The person I'm going to be giving it to is going to feel that same thing. And every person that she encounters that sees this beautiful bouquet in her house will feel that energy and love and joy. So it's so interesting that as we talk about, wanting more joy in life, right, or in our jobs, and connecting with what's meaningful and purposeful, the business and industry that you're all in today brings so much of that joy to others every day. So when you have those 3 elements in your life, and hopefully you've written down all 3, what's meaningful or purposeful to you? Is it opening people's hearts? Is it having them feel that sense of joy or awe from looking at what you created? Or that ease or thanks that every day they walk into their business or their home or whatever it is that you've designed and created, that they're feeling that love and that comfort? Because part of what you're doing, there's so much meaning and purpose into this field. Part of what you're doing is you're creating the environment where they can flourish, right? You're creating the environment where then that they feel comfortable and energized and enlivened, right? So there's a lot of purpose into your work. So if you want to find joy, you want to think about what those 3 elements are for you. Are you in a job where you're doing what you really love and particularly good at? Are you in an environment where you're thriving and alive and feeling connected to it? Are you, or do you need to create that if you're the principal, or a little bit more of that? And are you feeling the meaning and purpose for what you do? And I ask people sometimes that, if you've had this feeling, you're like, yeah, Eileen, I had it. Okay. I had that feeling of all that, or my business felt like all that. But then all of a sudden, things changed in the world, all this influx of business, this volume, these issues, these delays, and I'm losing it. And so if that's the case for you, take a moment to think about that time where you felt it. You almost have to reconnect back to the time when you felt that joy, right? Because it's there and it's possible. And as you step into each moment of the tasks that you have to do, and we're going to address those challenges and issues, don't worry about that, right? Because that'll help us alleviate some of that stress and pressure and all those other overworked. But as you step into each task you do, connect to your heart and to this place of what you're able to create in terms of purpose and meaning and what you're delivering, and delight in enjoying the tasks and things that you do. So that's the first thing I want to share today. I wanted to really make sure that everyone's feeling that, hey, I can have a job. I can have a job that I feel alive and purposeful and joyful in every day. And I know how to get that. I know how to create it, okay, at work, or create that environment for my staff if I'm a principal. Or I know what that looks like if I'm not in the right place. And I always tell people, if you're not in the right place, go to the right place. You deserve to be in the right place. You deserve to live years and years happily and joyfully. And people do. I've been a management consultant for 25 years. I've seen so many different types of organizations, people, culture. I've seen people loving life, saying, Eileen, I can't believe they pay me to do this job. I love it. It feels like playtime every day. And that same person's boss tells me, this person's amazing. They're exceptional at what they do. We love them. We love him. We love her. We can't believe she's so good. And yet she feels like I come and I just play all day. I had a colleague talk to me yesterday, and she said, Eileen, I love my job. She was laughing. She's like, my job is so much fun. Now, you might all not think her job is so much fun because she's working with businesses and trying to solve their problems and issues. But for her, that's fun. Right? And she says, I feel like I'm playing every day in a sandbox of joy. And I said, joy, it's so funny. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. So life and work can be that fun. Maybe you felt it before. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you can. And part of this is letting yourself know that you can and it's possible, that lots of people do. And the people that I've talked to all over do because of those three connected elements that are available to you. Now, if you're really kind of wondering, like, I know we're doing this real short because we only have so much time. I need take more time to get into those three elements, Eileen. I need to really explore them more fully. I did write the book, The Job You Were Born For, 7 Steps to Align Your Work with Your Life Mission, which does have more steps and exercises and depth into how to do that, how to connect and get clear on your 3 things. Because when you do, it's easy because it's kind of calls you and you see it and it propels you. So that's our first segment. Our second segment is I really want to, empathize and reach out to all of you about the world situation, what's been going on. It has been a lot of change in the past 2 or 3 years, right? And a lot of people, particularly in different businesses, we've had things like labor shortages. It's hard to find good people. We've had an influx of business. Many of design firms have doubled in size, doubled in volume, increased by millions of dollars because people are joyfully wanting to redecorate and renovate and create, right, during this time. And that's wonderful, except how do you manage that when that comes up? Right? So let's talk a little bit about that. So we have an influx of business, perhaps. We need more help to get all this work done because maybe our staff or our current business wasn't designed to handle so much volume, right? So what do we need to do? So we have to think about, do I want to hire more staff to do this? Do I need to relook at the staff and the way the work is distributed? And do I need to look at the systems and processes like Mydoma Studios does, right? To see if I can get more efficient and effective to help me in handling that additional volume. What are the ways that I can look at my business in lieu of this influx of business volume? Also, we have delays and shortages and other things like that, right? So we also have a situation going on that's occurred in the last 2 years, which is more people leaving jobs than ever before, right? The great resignation, you may have heard of that phenomenon, it's global. And what's going on for people is that people are leaving work, right? Many designers have been telling me, Eileen, I have some of my top designers are leaving to start their own design firm, right? So other people are telling me, Eileen, people are leaving firms because they're not happy in the culture or the environment of where they are. And they want the meaning and purpose. And so they're leaving this culture and environment that's not nurturing and loving and feeling good and feeling cared about, because people want to feel the love and the care at work as well as at home. And so they go someplace else to find that, right? And then what happens is the people that are left in this building or this office or this business, then all of a sudden, how do they pick up that workload? Are they doing like 1.5 people's job? Are they doing 2 people's job? And then they're getting stressed. So how do we deal with all of these different issues that are real and coming up in business? And I'm sure that's why most of you are on this call today. You're like, hey, I'm feeling it, and so I may have had the joy job and the stress and situations have come up. And now my job, many designers tell me it's 6-7 days a week, Eileen. It's been going on for months. Now it's feeling like years. What do we do? How do we get it under control? So here are some ideas I'm going to share with you. And the first step is to just stop for a moment and step back and ask yourself, what do you want? What would feel joyful to you? If anything is possible for you, which it is, if you can create, you are the creator of your own creation here, what would it look like? Take a moment, jot that down. What would it look like if I could create any business, kind of business that I want? Not taking everything that comes at me or whatever. How can I refine? This is my chance to refine. What type of business do I want to have? What type of clients do I want to have? Which ones bring me joy? Which ones do I get to use my greatest expertise? And again, if I'm an employee in a firm, I can ask myself the same thing. What right now do you want? What does that look like for you? And sometimes it's really just kind of getting clear. Sometimes it's thinking about creative processes like, hey, maybe we can redefine things a little bit in terms of how we're structured or what our responsibilities are or what our workflow is like, right? You can step back and look at that. Maybe we can decide to take fewer clients that are more the kind of the plum clients that we really want, because this is the time to do that, to really focus in. Maybe we can increase our fees. Maybe we can do all these different things to really make it joyful for you. But your first step is to think about what that joyful looks like. As a principal and owner, and then as an employee, you're thinking about for your job, what would joyful look like? If you're thinking about those 3 criteria of what you're exceptionally good at, right? And people see it and recognize it and love it, and that's meaningful to you, what would creating that job where you are, if that's the beautiful environment that you love, look like? What could be changed or adjusted? Would we outsource certain aspects of it? Would we hire additional people? Would I move into a different role? One of the things that occurs sometimes in life is sometimes what was joyful at one time is not. Okay. So for no real reason, not talking about stress or pressure or too much of it, because too much of doing what you love because you can't handle that many clients, right, will kind of put you over into the stress zone. But it could be something like for a number of years, I was a corporate training director, and I would train for 4 out of 5 days a week, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, up in front of audiences, training all day. And I loved it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I thrived. I was good at it. It was great. And then one day I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can. And how? I'm good at it. It was fun. It is fun sometimes, but I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling like there's something else I want to do. I'm feeling like I want to do more organizational development and consulting work. I want to work with companies that have challenges and problems and issues and help them look at it and see and find new solutions and new opportunities, and then see the change in business results in the full organization. That's what I'm feeling like I want to do. And then I start to move into that role, which I did many years ago, to that organizational consulting role, out of just the training role. And so where best to do those things, I always say, is within the company that you're at. right? So I was a corporate training director in the company. Then I created the consulting aspect, the consulting arm of the business that helped companies become more efficient, effective, profitable, and also a place of joy where people worked and thrived and prospered and felt the love and felt the purpose, because that's where my heart was. So for you, think about that. Think about, what do you want right now? What are you feeling called to right now? What's alive for you? And you may want to engage in some resources or support in this process. You can do it on your own, but you have to give yourself the time. I mean, think about it. When I ask people, like, have you taken 3 to 4 hours just by yourself on you? Just asking yourself what you want and really thinking about and dreaming about what that is. Or have you given yourself a day or two to think about your business and your operation and what that looks like today? Because the world is changing so quickly. We have the opportunity. I love the opportunity to change our paradigm, opportunity to change how we work and what we do, right? This is a great opportunity for that. So do I want to take some time to do that myself, which is beautiful? I have one design client. She says she loves to she's like, Eileen, I'm taking all day. I'm taking a weekend by herself. She goes by herself to a hotel for a weekend. She's got kids and family and a very busy, successful business. And during that weekend, she analyzes her business. She thinks about what she wants and what she loves. And then she calls me back on Monday and she says, here's what I'm thinking. Here's my plan. I figured it out. And I'm moving people here, I'm redesigning this, I'm outsourcing that, I'm streamlining this, we have a new process or procedure or system. And she comes back with this game plan because she took the time and tapped into her own intuition and knowing, which I'm sure all of you have, right? Whether it's for your business or for your job, you have this internal intelligence that knows what's best and right for you. But we have to stop doing to tune into that, to know what that is and what that looks like in order to do that. So those are a few ideas in terms of how to really stop in the stressful place that some people are feeling, or the overwhelm or the overwork. My heart goes out. So many designers have been telling me, Eileen, I'm working 6-7 days a week. They don't have time for the phone call. They don't have time. They say, I don't have time to work on my business because I'm doing the work, right? I'm trying to hit the deadlines. And I can tell you from 25 years of business and seeing companies that are successful and grow. I've had companies that went from 0 to billions that I've worked with, right? In the service industry. And what they do is they take the time, they take the 3 or 4 days off to really do the deep thinking and strategic planning and analysis of their business. They take the time, a day or more, a quarter, to really look at what can we do better. And part of what we can do better is how can we make it more joyful? I want all of you to love your job, live and work, enjoy. And I want all of your employees to live and work, enjoy. And I want all of your superstars to live and work, enjoy in partnering with you, and to stay with you and thrive with you and create with you, right? Because we all want to be in joy. Sometimes we give our superstars more and more and more work because we know they can get it done. And then their work starts to get not fun, or they start making errors, and that's difficult, right? And then they feel bad. We don't want that. We want to keep connecting and bringing this out for that joy place. Okay, we're on the third element to talk about today. And that is, how can you, and again, actually one more thing to throw onto that, there are resources out there to help you. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with a coach. I know there's a lot of business coaches out there in the design field. You could do it with a management consultant like myself or my management colleagues that love to look at you and your business with you. You know, we sit together, we look at it, we talk about it, we consider all the different options in terms of how to structure the design, the vision, the path to get there, with the goal always for everyone to be living and working in joy and prospering, to delight and reach the purposeful work that everyone around you feels that sense of purpose and delight in. So fun. Life can be so fun. And no matter where you are, it's right there. It's available to you. It's a choice. You can stop, you can think, you can reach out and get the support you need. So happy to, so joyful to do it. So many options and so many ways to get there. Okay, so third area, my favorite. How do you live in joy every moment yourself? on the planet. And so when I think about joy, I think about those spontaneous moments of joy, right? Whether it's watching the sunset or time with your children or your family or your spouse or your pets. Oh my gosh. I mean, just so much joy that you can have in those moments. We just had Father's Day, right? So I was sitting out in a little chair, on a cliff overlooking the ocean with my husband thinking, wow, this is great. This is joy. This is Father's Day. Of course, all our kids are not, they're out of the house. They flew the coop. And so they weren't with us, but it was a joy moment. So we used to think of joy as these spontaneous moments that occur. Then we think of joy as something that we can get if we go and play, right? Well, I'm just going to schedule more vacations. I'm going to play, do more fun things. And I absolutely encourage you all to play all the time. Play in your work. Every day should feel like play. There should be elements of play throughout your day. So definitely play more for joy, but also know that there's a frequency of joy available to you in every moment. And so we're going to do an exercise right now on how to connect with that frequency so that you can feel joy in every moment of every day in your life. So make sure that you're sitting someplace where it's quiet and you're comfortable. And I would say put your feet flat on the ground. If you can, sit up straight, or you can lay down if you'd like to do that. And we're going to do an exercise, and I'm going to lead you through to this place to connect with your joy, with your inner joy that's always available to you at any time, at any moment. And it's interesting, one of the ways I kind of, came upon all this is that I had someone in my family that was severely depressed. And it was so sad to see them so depressed. And it was so hard. Some of you may have experienced this with loved ones or yourself. It's so hard because you want to help, you want to do something, you want to bring joy and happiness to that person. But when they're in that state, you can't do it from the outside. And so I remember researching everything about this. What can I do? What's possible? How can we shift this? What can happen? And I came across some information that says that even people that are in severe depression can feel joy. And I thought, wow, okay, how do they do that? What do we do? How do we connect with that joy? And if I'm not severely, depressed, how do I connect with it all the time in every moment? So that's what we're going to do. So if you can take a moment, you're sitting up straight and your feet are flat on the ground and you're feeling the feet against the floor. Okay, we're going to close our eyes. I'm going to lead you through and guide you through this experience. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we want to relax, because as you relax, that helps you to connect to your sense of joy. So we're going to start by taking some slow inhales and exhales. And just relax our body, relax our face and our shoulders, our neck. And what I'd like you to do as you're sitting and relaxing is with each inhale, I want you to imagine you're inhaling love and light. So as you inhale the love and light, you're feeling it go down through your lungs and your chest and your body. You're breathing in love and light. And it's filling your body. And then you're exhaling out joy. You're exhaling joy out into the universe. And you're spreading that joy to all that's around us. So you're inhaling the love and light, and you're filling your body with that sense of love and light, and you're exhaling the joy. And as you're doing that, you're feeling your body relax, feeling your connection to your feet on the floor, feeling connection to your seat. And I'd like you to kind of bring your focus with each inhale, inhaling the love and light, and exhaling the joy. Bring your focus down to your heart center. And think about your heart. How is your heart feeling right now? What does it look like as you're opening up and filling your body with love and light? With each inhale, I'm bringing in the love and light. Each exhale, I'm exhaling the joy. I feel like my entire body is filled with love and light. And I'm focusing on my heart center, and I'm feeling my heart open. And as my heart opens, oh, I feel a little bit of a tingling, an energy inside my body. See if you notice any tingling or energy inside your body, perhaps in your hands, in your feet. Sometimes people feel that space first. And then you just feel this energy and tingling in your body. It's almost like a liquid love, or just like to me, it's like twinkle lights of joy and energy in my body. So you're just breathing in the love, relaxing, feeling the love energy, feeling your heart open, feeling a general sense of well-being. All of a sudden, my body feels differently. You feel a general sense of well-being in your body. There's been a shift. This is you connecting with yourself and your own internal state of joy through relaxing and breathing in the love and light that's always there for you, connecting it within you and exhaling out into the joy of who you are and what's always there for us, that frequency of joy. Now you can just sit in this energy and frequency of joy if you like, or you can take a moment and also play and have fun with this too. I'd like you to think about for a moment a joyful experience you've had lately. It could be by yourself out in nature on a walk, where you're looking around, you're seeing and smelling things. It could be with, again, a loved one, family. It could be with a pet. Pets bring so much joy. And I want you to just kind of play that movie in your mind for a moment. What's going on there? What are you seeing? Are there smiles and laughter? Now connect back to your body. What are you feeling in your body as you remember that beautiful scene of joy with your loved one or your pet or nature, wherever it may be? Are you feeling the tingling and energy in your body now? It's like joy bubbles in our system. It's beautiful. It's there, it's available. It's always there for us. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and rejoin us in our session. And I'd like you to, when you do that, bring in the joy with you. It doesn't stop when you open your eyes. It doesn't stop when you stop thinking about this joyful experience you just had. It continues with you into that place. So when you're ready, open your eyes. Check in with yourself. Do you still feel the tingling, the energy, the joy in your body? That can stay with you all the time. What's interesting, one of the most fascinating, interesting things that I've discovered is that the more time that you spend in this state, feeling this energy in your body and this sense of well-being, it's like the best way to describe it for me. It's like this sense of well-being. I can feel it in my chest and my heart. I just feel differently. I just feel good. It doesn't have to be this huge heightened sense of it. It can be any sense of it. And it has various levels of it, right? And the more time you spend in this state, the more that becomes your normal. That becomes kind of your default state and place of being. I had no idea this could come into a place where hours and hours, days could be spent feeling this type of joy. And I hope with our conversation today about how you can show up and be so joyful in your work and feel the environment and aliveness and purposefulness in your work and in your job and with the purpose and things that you're doing and in your everyday, right? Can really come alive for you, that you now feel like you can live and work in joy all the time. It's available. Okay, we're getting close to our time for question and answers. I am so happy and so joyful to be with all of you, to share this information, to know that all of us were sharing the joy together. So special. Jason,
All
do you have
right.
some questions for us?
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I realized to turn my light off during that thing. So there's a lot of backlight on your boy. So I'm just gonna put that back up. Thank
No
you
problem at all.
so much. I think that was lovely, especially that exercise. I think a lot of people probably could have, used that opportunity to just sit down and just like breathe. I think we get kind of riled up. So just remember, or sorry, just a reminder, if you have any questions for Eileen, put it in the Q&A box. We make one. Oh, we just got popped up right here from Loretta. And she says, hello, Eileen. Can you mention your book name again, please?
The Job You Were Born For, 7 Steps to Align Your Work with Your Life Mission.
And
I think Jason has that in the chat, or do you
I
have
was
it?
just about to say, I have the link and I will pop it right in the chat for everyone interested to check that out. And I know, bit of a Wizard of Oz moment, we talk before we go live just to make sure everything's going on. And I asked you, because I thought, writing books is a really interesting topic. And I asked you how that came about. Are you comfortable sharing that story?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
So
perfect.
yeah, so Jason was saying, how did this book come into fruition? What happened, what occurred? And I told him, I said, I never had any intention of writing a book. And it was a calling. I woke up one morning and I felt like, you need to write this book. Go down right now to your computer. And I tell the story in the book and start typing. And I just did it, in my pajamas and started typing the names of each chapter and what I would include in each of them. And so it really felt like a personal calling and mission. And part of it came from like my heart and my purpose of like, I want more people to love what they do. I want more people to live and work in joy. I know how these people are doing it out there, from working in businesses, all different businesses and industries and positions. I see miserable people. I see people that are like, it's okay. It's a means to an end. I compartmentalize my life. And I see people that feel fully integrated, right, into what they do with their purpose and mission. And it's so joyful. And I wanted to share that with so many people. So happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think, it's definitely not something that is an easy feat to do. So I think that's really amazing that you've done something like this. It's definitely not easy. I think we've given a lot of people just like a lot to think about. It's pretty quiet.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, I have a couple questions to ask, and then maybe you can answer some of the questions in the chat, or you guys can ask me some questions.
I would love that.
Because I know, and I know you have some, I'm open to all kinds of questions, because I've had first of all, I wanted to ask, and I don't know if can we see if they raise hands? Because I want to see how many people, when they were doing that exercise, didn't want to leave. Like, this happens to me all the time. It's like, do I have to open my eyes? I'm feeling so much joy. Okay, tell me if you felt like that. Tell me in the chat, raise hands, whatever. If you were like, do I have to come back? There's so much love and joy in this moment. And so that's kind of fun. But I want to also invite you, I've had designers tell me, Eileen, it's just not fun anymore. I don't know how to get the fun back. I don't know how to get the joy back. Or I have one designer tell me, I think all my people hate me. And like, by the way, I don't like them either. And I'm like, we need to talk, because it can be joyful. It can be beautiful. Let's look at your business. Let's look at where you are. Let's look at what you want to do. That shifts in time. Let's take the time together to figure out what's going to be joyful and create that. And so I hope, if nothing else from today, that you walk away thinking, I'm not going to say I'm too busy anymore, because life is too short, right? Just to not stop and, we saw with COVID, like things stopped. It stopped us. It forced us to stop, right? So we can stop. We can take the days and the time to think and reflect, right? And make changes that'll make your life and your business easier, smoother, more joyful. So how can I help you while I'm here?
Oh, Bob says, Eileen, great job. We especially like the idea of reinforcing positive thoughts, beliefs, ideas, etc. Thank you very much. A lot of people commenting that they love the exercise. I think that, yeah, that to me, that was just so wonderful.
Oh, I'm so glad. It's oh yeah, I want to share a little bit more with this, just some
Sure.
stories, and just tell me, Jason, when there's a question. I'll just
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
comes up. So I had this experience of, I'm a very, busy with clients and work and things like everybody else is in their business. And I would start to take these walks in nature. And, first I would run or jog or hike. And then I'm like, no, I just want to be in nature. And COVID was like, there was nothing to do for those couple of days, right? Or weeks or whatever, when things shut down. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours at the park by myself or whatever on a trail. And by spending like literally hours in that state of joy. And it's different when you're by yourself. Sometimes it can be easier to connect. Sometimes it's easier with a joyful, loving partner or friend. But when you to spend hours in that joy state, and then I start to grow it like, oh, I don't want to just do an hour every day. I want to do an hour and a half. I want to do 2 hours. I got to do 3 hours, right? And then so you can actually grow. And it's just the things, how it changes your physical body, right? Because when you're in stress and distress, right? It's like that's where dis-ease comes in, or disease, right? And so we want to really open to this joy state. That's where the energy comes in and it revitalizes us, makes us stronger and healthier.
Yeah, definitely. Well, a bit of positive reinforcement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. All right. So, not
So again, questions or challenges you have with your business or your life that I can help or assist you with, I'm so happy to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Feel free to jot them in, the question and answer, the chat. And also, it doesn't end here. You can always reach out to me by email to help and assist if you want someone to kind of brainstorm with you what that looks like. I'll also say, sometimes people say, well, it's hard to live in joy if I'm surrounded with people that aren't joyful, right? Or they be spouse or roommates or whoever, right? Coworkers, whatever. And so what I can tell you about that is it's been so amazing to me. So as I've made this transformation into joy and to spending more time, to being in that frequency, when you're in that frequency yourself and you're really feeling it fully, I call it like being in your power and your joy, then the other people around you, you just see them with love. They're not bringing you down. And what happens is they see you and they feel your energy and it starts to change. It's so funny. One of the things that I say commonly, because I feel it, when people say, how are you? I'm like, loving life. I'm like, I am loving life, really. That's how I am, right? And so I say that and I feel that. And I say it because I feel it. And so there's other people in my life that, you ask them how they are and they'll say, fine, good, never better than that. It's usually a complaint or a symptom or something, right? And so all of a sudden, these people around me are starting to say out of nowhere, loving life. I'm like, no way. Did so-and-so just say that? So they're feeling it. They're feeling the energy. So you can be it on your own, in yourself. The exercise taught you how to get there and be it, right? Yourself at every moment. And your being it will bring other people in the vibration up.
Well, we've had a few come in now. So Loretta, I think this is something I've struggled with in the past. I'm sure it's other people. But she says, question, part of joy can also be able to start saying no. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes. Honoring yourself. I mean, saying no to clients you don't want to take, right? Saying no to tasks that, that aren't right for you. In a positive, polite way, right? Always to keep things positive and polite, but absolutely saying no. Because sometimes saying yes isn't honoring you, right? It's not honoring your being, your divine self. You're here to create your life, right? And what's so funny is, there's this adage that says like, there are people that are happy to give you chores and tasks all day long, right? And there are people happy to just do them. But then sometimes you don't want to do what these people are giving you. Right? Or, I've really decided, how many clients do you want? Who do you want to work with? This is a time for choice, but absolutely saying no is part of the joy. And so great question.
Yeah. And people are agreeing in the chat. Something Veronica says, I've been happier for sure, and for sure a better designer when I learned to say no.
Yes. And what will work? You know what I mean? Sometimes, can you do this? Can you do that? What I like to say is, what's your goal? What are you hoping for? This is what'll work. Doesn't have to be the hard no, right?
Yeah.
It's like, open up to like, what are you really after? What's the end result? Oh, okay. Here's how we can make that work, right?
Definitely. Rosalind says, having pared down my business during COVID and some COVID fallout, how should I approach getting back to work? This exercise helped.
Good. So first step is really, what do you want to do? What are you feeling? Energized, excited, called to do? Write that picture down, right? What kind of work do you want? What kind of clients do you want? Do you want to grow? Do you want to work in more of a niche? It's so interesting that people, when they start their business, sometimes start with like, I'll take everything, right? But I'm saying, no, don't do that. I'm saying, really say, what would be the most highest, greatest, joyful to you to do? The type of work, the industries, the type of clients, and the time frame for you, right? Like, I will joyfully work on helping redesign your business with you, but I will start that joyful process in September. Right? I'm happy to, you know what I mean? Find resources to help and assist you on a project, but that's not a project that I can take on right now, but I can refer you to other people that can take on that project, that would joyfully do that project. There are people out there that want to do the work you don't want to do. There are people out there that find the tasks that you find boring or unappealing or tedious or drudgery. To them, it's joy. I mean, I'll tell you, it's amazing, kind of like the outsourcing options globally, right? People are using global resources. I just want to mention Luann Noguera, you all know, my cousin. I was just talking with her about the global resources of people that her clients, so, send her an email if you have a question about this, or check out one of her podcasts, because her clients are utilizing global resources for all different aspects of design and having tremendous success with it. It's like, wow. So when I sit down, and as our caller said, the question, how do I build myself back up? What do you want to do? What don't you want to do that somebody else can joyfully do? Isn't that a beautiful way to think of it? What somebody else can joyfully do, right?
Yeah,
efficiently. Like it take me longer. It'll take them less time, more efficiency, streamline. So hopefully that's a good start, and think about, whether it's staff you want to add. But again, I always tell people, when you want to redesign your business, there's so much that goes into it, nuances, finances, desire to lead others or not desire to lead, right? Desire to do the design work or not do the design work. Like, and you can change. So as a principal, you could be changing and flowing in. I used to love to do the design, but now I like to do the client initial meeting and vision and the reveal. Or I love doing the whole process. People have told me, Eileen, A to Z design, but I don't want to do that many projects. Okay, so let's find another designer that can do A to Z with you. So you do A to Z, they do A to Z, however, right? Or some designers say, I just like to do the fun stuff. All this other stuff I want to delegate to somebody else. Great, there's people that love that.
Definitely. Julianne asks, what if what if what you really want to do is not profitable, not a big enough market for it?
See, to me, that's like a creative challenge, because what is that? I want to know what are you talking about? Because one of my superpowers is creative brainstorming and ideas and opportunities, right? It's like, how do we know? Do we really know? Have we explored every aspect? How do we know it's not possible? How do we know it's not the next new creation that pops out? Is that really, is there something there? And then also ask yourself, if your self is saying, hey, there's something I want to do, I don't think it's hugely profitable, whatever, there might be some avenue to it that you don't even know. I mean, sometimes, you're called to do something and you just say, okay, right? And things start to evolve and pop up. It's like, inner divine guidance. So I would say, let's talk about that. But it's really, I can't impress enough, following the heart, the joy, the what's attracting you, the love, it will lead you to magnificent prosperity as well as joy. It will come with that, whether it takes time or not. And if you have that thing that you're like, I want to do this niche, but I don't think it's profitable. Like, first thing I would say is, like, we got to brainstorm. We got to brainstorm a lot before you tell me it's not profitable. And we got to explore every possible avenue. And we've got to, like, shock and surprise you, because I was just reading a friend's book he's in a draft. It's a book on ping pong and leadership. And he said to me, Eileen, one of the chapters has an excerpt about this guy that graduates from college and is like, I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm just going to bartender and hang out. And then I'm going to save money and, like, go to Europe for 6 months and travel around. And then I'll figure out what I want to do. Right. So then as he's hanging out bartending with his friends, they start playing games. They love to play games every night. They're playing games every night. They're having fun. And so they kind of start, like, riffing on their games, like making up new games or whatever. So he, like, makes up this new game. Guess what? It's Pictionary. Like, I mean, this is like a global game in, like, hundreds of languages, right? A humongous hit. So when you say, but I don't know, there's no money in that, there's no, I don't know if there isn't. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Let's, possibilities. And if you feel like there's no money in it, and it's not enlightening you up and motivating you, then look again, think again, because maybe there's a second thing.
I love that. All right, well, we're almost at time. So I want to finish up. I think not so much a question, but Deb has a comment. I think, it's something that maybe a lot of people who have sit here today might struggle with. So Deb says, in the beginning of COVID, time in nature, walking was amazing. She feels like there just isn't the time now to go walking for an hour. I think I need a few more hours to take the time to do some of those joyful things. My short yoga sessions are wonderful. Your breathing exercise is very similar. My husband thought I fell asleep in the passenger seat. She says, this wasn't really a question, but a few extra hours a day would be awesome. But I believe that means saying no or delegating.
Yes, exactly. What can someone else do joyfully for you so that you can spend your hour in nature? If you're in this life and you have a choice, what is most important to you? Everything else can be kind of figured out, negotiated, can be, right? Can be redesigned. Some people are asking themselves, do I want this much work? Do I want to be this big? Or I do. So how do I do it so it's still joyful? You can do it and still be joyful. You can design your life to always have an hour for you in nature or whatever it is you want to do. You can if you want. I love it. I'm so glad you said, or should I delegate? It's like, oh yeah, or outsource or something else. So great.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Eileen. I think you've given us a lot to think about, a lot to take away, to kind of find that sense of joy.